everyone, and welcome back to Our Life Now and Forever. This is Tamarack, our little adventuring buddy, and we're about to go off an adventure and find the source of the brown airplane that was just left in the woods. A dirty litterer. We are playing as Andy Peterson, or Andrew, and he's making this weird face. I went back the other day, watched the recording, saw that his freckles were not obvious, and I was like, oh. So yeah, I'm pointing out that he does have freckles. We're gonna go find the perpetrator, and let's go, Tamarack. Soon you reach the head of the path. You're at the crossroads once more. But you'd brought back knowledge, and this new girl with you. Alright, we did that one, and that's where you were. And down there is just a car road. You stood at Tamarack's side, gesturing around animatedly with both your hands. You didn't know if that helped her understand better, but you couldn't keep still. But there's that way over there to the other side. You bent your knees, stretched out both arms, and pointed across the forked passage to where the second dirt imprint was. Tamarack couldn't possibly miss it with your direction. I don't think she could miss it anyway, but oh well. With her lips set in a straight line, she nodded rapidly and with seriousness. But only for a second. Then she was Berkey again. She was having fun and only pretending like she wasn't always so silly.
Yeah, okay. Down the tree path for you and me.
The decision easily made. Your and her crunching footsteps started again in unison. And still, your quest continued. The path ended up being more of a trick. You ran out of dirt to walk on after only a minute or two, and it became plain grass everywhere. Luckily, you only had to keep following the curved bend of brush and tree trunks that separated the forest from not the forest, to know where you were going, where you had planned to go. Tamarack hummed in a happy tune, not bothered by the change in the ground at all. My gosh, she is so cute. You made eye contact, and she started to speak words instead of music.
It's good that we're looking this way. Walking down the road that goes to the town would have been a bad idea.
I had to sneeze again, I'm sorry. I have a bad nose, okay? But yes, bad idea. Oh, do your Omi and Opa have a rule against that too?
I don't know.
Oh, then how come? Her eyes went wide. Whatever news she had to give must be something awful.
You'd have no idea because you just got here, but I've seen it. The town here is bad. The buildings were probably new when Omi and Opa were 10, but it's old and dusty now. Nobody is going anywhere or doing anything. They just live in this place, sit around and do that forever. You could have never have fun here.
She spoke gravely, giving the topic a moment of silence. Also, wait. It does! Look at her. She looks like a pouting puppy. Oh, I love Tamarack. She's the best. She spoke gravely, giving the topic a moment of silence. After that, her spark came back, lighting up her features.
But it's all okay now, since we're right here, next to here.
Tamarack hopped along, directing her stick to the tree line at your sides.
Everything in the forest is growing or dying or changing no matter what. You look at that spot, and you look at a different spot. And you look back at that one spot, and you'll see there's something new there that you didn't even notice before.
She spread her arms across and up in front of your face playfully.
It's magic!
Wow, you're right! Then as you strolled even further, something came into view. You almost didn't notice it at first. Stretching about as high as the trees and made out of practically the same colored wood was a tower sort of thing. The bottom of it was mostly empty space, with thick poles at the corners, and only one full wall. There were little fake rocks stuck to the boards of the wall side, probably for people to climb on. Above was an actual floor with a slanty roof and railings. Some ropes dangled off it in multiple places. The thought came to you that it had the same feeling of a tree house, except not on a tree. It definitely wasn't a real house. You might have found a local playground or something. A squealing whisper came right into your ear, Tamarack had noticed the wood thing too.
Ah, let's go see it!
She pulled away from the side of your head and marched to the tower without waiting for you to even answer. Curiously, you moved closer until you were right in front. And that's when you came to the shocking realization that there was something up there at the top. Eyes squinted, you tried seeing more clearly and held up your neck. Oh, and your neck bent so far that your head might fall off. I'm sorry, I can't read. You could make out a lumpy pile. Ugh. Ooh. You grabbed onto the parts sticking out to try climbing up there. Yeah, that's a great idea. 10-year-old, definitely do that. Reaching one hand higher and the other closer to anchor yourself, you grabbed hold of one of the different fake rocks attached to the wall. Then you situated one of your feet onto the lowest climbing point. You huffed and strained your arms to pull. The foot on the rock then carried all your weight as you lifted the other up into the air. Man, they are doing a very good job at describing climbing. It was tricky, but you got the second foot against a rock of its own that was higher up than the first. You had made it fully off the ground.
Oh my gosh. Tamarack, you're so cute. Hello? Hello? Is somebody home?
The sudden sound of clattering ruckus from inside the fort made you flinch in place. I'm trying not to, ignore the sound effects because they're really cool. There was a scrambling, thudding noise that you knew came from the movement. That lump stopped being just a lump. It shot up, bent right over the railing, peered down, and saw you. Whoa. Ju! Oh my gosh. It was another kid. Oh my gosh. You really like the... You liked the fluffy hooded coat they had on. Yeah, let's go with that. Your hand started to shake as you held yourself up against the wall. You had to step back onto the grass. The person stayed put. The silent standoff of surprise played out between you and the stranger. Then, all together, one half of their mouth, one of their eyebrows, and one of their hands shifted upwards. Ooh, he's gonna be mad at us. The lopsided pose they had and the fact that they were at the top of the tower made them seem pretty in charge here. Okay, I'm trying to think of my best voice. So this is Andy, right? I need to think something that's different than Andy. Who are you? And why are you in my backyard? No, wait. Oh my gosh, this is gonna eat at me all day. I'm back. I'm sorry, my roommate was annoying. Roommate life, am I right? But yeah, I think I have a voice for two, so here we go. Who are you? Why are you in my backyard? Oh, they were in charge here. Oh, I didn't know this was your backyard. I couldn't tell. Sorry. Somehow they twisted their smile and leaned over the railing even more than before. Yeah, there's no fence, but there is a house right over there. And if you look again, you can even see that that's the back of the house. And so this is the backyard. My backyard, because I live in that house. You knew that the house, what a house was and what a backyard was. The kid was making a joke of you. Excuse me, sir. Wait. How could I have known that the faraway house went with all this open grass? Your defense didn't change their smug smile at all. I do have a pretty big backyard. Thank you for saying so. After doing her own snooping, Tamarack skipped out from under the tower to join you in the stranger's eyeline. She didn't miss a beat, waving and introducing herself to the new person.
Hiya, I'm Tamarack.
Hey. At that, they pressed the palms of their hands against the railing, then used it to kick their legs up over the sides and throw themselves right off the fort. This kid has a death wish.
Whoa!
There was a powerful crunch and gust of air when the person hit the ground just a little to the side of where you were. They landed on their feet, crouching into a ball and making the hood of their jacket flip over their head from the impact from falling so far down. The person stayed like that for long enough that the leaves they stirred up had settled quietly into the grass again. The kids straightened themselves out with more poise than you could have expected. Squared the shoulders, chin up, and with one hand they pushed the hood down over their back again. They were confident and knew how to show it. Oh, well, that must be nice. Well, that's that. That was so cool! Yeah, it was. They took hold of the open side of their jacket and flapped them out, shaking off bits of sticks and whatever other stuff got it and when they collided with the dirt. My gosh, I cannot read today. Anyways, they shifted their head around to get their hair back over their shoulders, the way it was before, then jabbed a finger into their own chest. Hi, I'm Mr. Qiulin. Q-I-U and then L-I-N, which means both of Chu's arms spread out openly, gesturing to the wide world all around. Autumn. Nice to meet ya. There's actually Autumn. I think he's trying to be Mandarin Chinese, which Autumn is Chutian. I mean, it's been a while since I took classes, but Chutian, so technically not right, but you do you, Chu. Autumn, nice to meet you. So, what are your whole names? Through the chuckles, Tamarack put on a fake voice that was deeper than her normal one, and probably meant to sound mature.
Him. I am Miss Tamarack Bowman. A tamarack is a tree.
That introduction got a thumbs up from Chu. Cool, Miss Tamarack Bowman. I'm Mr. Andrew Peterson. That was perfect, Mr. Andrew Peterson. Oh, but everyone just calls me Andy. Cool, I've got a nickname too. It's Autumn, because like I said, that's why I got my name. That's what my name means. You can use it if you want. I don't know, she was pretty sick, honestly. Alright. Wait, and also, how old are you two? You seem pretty similar to me.
Me and him are the same. 10.
Chu slapped his fingerless gloves against the front of his chest to show just how taken aback he was. Whoa, so am I. Nobody else close by was exactly 10 before, and now there's 2 more.
Wow, we came at just the right time.
You did. And you two are gonna grow up someday, and I'm gonna grow up too. But that's never gonna stop us from being the same age. Cool. Yeah, that is great. More 10-year-olds were better than less. But the talk you were having ended with a clear clap from Chu to bring it to a close. Now that we're people who know each other, I still want to hear what you were doing. I've lived my whole life in this town, in this neighborhood, in that house, and I've never seen either of you anywhere. There's gotta be something going on. Tamarack's wide, knowing gaze met yours. You understood what you had to do. Well, you reached right in your pocket and presented the mysterious paper to Chu, wanting your own explanation. But before you even said anything about it, Chu wheezed with a tight grimace. He looked as stiff as the wood tower behind him, just like that. You're He stammered and babbled, and pointed his fingers all around the space that was sort of in front of you, until the word finally came to him. A sorcerer! What? No, wait. Chu threw his hands up higher towards his shoulders, then the sudden movement making sure nothing interrupted his train of thought. You're a thief! That's why you're here, to rob my house! Yeah, I'm a sorcerer and a thief. I'm a sorcerer. My gosh, I'm doing a really bad job at differentiating these two little guys' voices. Maybe I should have made my character a girl instead. I don't know. I'm a sorcerer and a thief. Oh, what? Do you really think I'm a sorcerer, Robber? He got all fluttery with his laugh and the waving of his fingers. No. You're just a kid, but you've got some good tricks. Chew tucked out one of his hands inside his jacket. He moved it around in there, humming the whole time. There was some kind of secret pocket or compartment that was in the coat. Aha! Just as you thought. When he removed his hand, he was grabbing onto something. It was like a little notebook. The edges were bent up and crumply, probably from being squished a lot of ways and a lot of times. And there were pages sticking out in weird ways that made you think they weren't even attached to the book anymore. They were just smashed between other pages to keep them in place. Also Tamarac's adorable smile, I love you all. But one thing you noticed the most were the colors, tan with dark brown lines. Tamarack squealed, bounding closer to you. She and you had the same idea at the very same time. It was the paper from the airplane. Chew flipped open the book, tapping in slow, considering rhythm at the front page with the back of his knuckles, and said what you wanted to know, without you having to do anything. Hey, that's my special paper, with my notes on it. But it's not in my notebook. It was in your pocket? You must have done the thief thing that's sleight of hand? Sleight of hand? Ha. And that's what you did to snatch my stuff in the blink of an eye while I was standing right here. Ha, so you're a magician or a pickpocket. That's all it could be. He shifted on his feet, putting one hand to his hip and using the other to make a waggling gesture with the notebook. I'm trying to figure out what kind of gesture he's doing with my hands, but I don't have my VTuber pose figure thingy on right now, so whatever. Chew was very confident in his accusation against you. Can you show me how you do it? But the wavy motion Chew did was too much for the old notebook. It bent in half upwards and downwards with the movement of its owner's arms. Some of this paper slid out. They drifted to the ground lightly, the same way leaves fell from trees. You stared at them, sitting on the ground freely like that. Chew didn't. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with you lost it, Chew. I don't want to be sarcastic. You lost it, Chew?
Yep, you dropped all your paper.
Nah, I never lose things. He said it proudly, not paying attention to the papers cluttered around his feet. They were pretty much just waiting to blow away in the wind at that point. There are papers on the ground right now. There are papers on the ground right now. You know. Chew's eyes widened. He lifted the notebook over his head and twisted his feet outwards more to fully clear his vision of the grass below. Finally, he spotted the missing pages. Wow, thanks. In the middle of talking, he dropped to his knees and to scoop up the loose papers. It only took a second for each one to be gathered. He leaned off his knees onto his butt and made a little oof sound. From there, he got to his feet again, to the ground, while pushing up with his hands, still clutching the paper, so he could stand again. With that successful rescue mission done, Chew delicately flipped through the notebook, inserting the loose papers along the way between different pages. He went all the way to the end. Then Chew's complete book was pressed shut once more. Hey, that really helped, Andy. Thanks. A beaming smile directed right into your face almost had you covering your eyes. Ugh, eyeballs. But before that happened, he looked away. Chew twisted to the side to better rummage inside the hidden pocket of his jacket. He made super sure that the entire stack of papers made it back safely this time. You heard a sigh of relief. In an even swooping move, Chew tilted his head back over his shoulder to reveal his face again. The bright expression from before was completely gone. He had that smirk on his face again. So, did you see that? I didn't lose anything. Next time I'm not gonna tell you about it. You know, actually, you know what? Honestly? Oh my gosh, okay, you lose stuff all the time. You just find it again. Sometimes. Seems like all the time to me. Chew's face with your reaction came out as a set of snickers. His cheeky move drifted away once those were done. Chew twisted to the side to better rummage inside the hidden pocket of his jacket. He made sure that the notebook made it back into its normal spot. Then he tilted his face back towards you. He was quiet and thoughtful. This is very mysterious. My paper vanished and 2 new kids appeared in my backyard. All out of nowhere. I don't get it. Chew, I'm your neighbor now. I moved into the middle house in the street. Oh, you're the new neighbors. That's right. That's you. How it makes so much sense. Except for her. I'm sorry, that was just... except for her. Why did I do that? I don't know. His growing excitement scrunched into confusion. Chew brought a hand to his chin while also pointing squarely at Tamarack with the other one. I'm pretty positive there was only going to be 1 new kid moving in. Unless you're Andy's mom! Okay. Yeah, Tamarack just laugh at that. Tamarack was completely tickled by the idea, giggling and covering her mouth with her hands. She didn't do a good job at stopping any of the laughter from getting out.
No, I'm not a mom. I moved in with my Omi and Opa.
Omi and Opa? I've never heard of that. Is that another language?
Uh-huh. It's German. I'm their German.
Huh, cool.
Thanks. But they already had a house here. It's the gray one.
Whoa. There's a granny who lives there and a guy that's your husband. That's your Omi and Opa?
I think so. Probably. Omi has really long hair. Opa has short hair, and some of it on his face. Omi and Opa means Granny and Grandpa. In German, of course.
Yeah, that is them. Okay. Chew bobbed his head up and down with great understanding. Granny and him have a kid now, huh? Wow. Then Chew shook his head side to side, flopping dark brown strands of hair around and trying to sort out his thoughts. But if you're just new neighbors, not thieves or sorcerer, how did you know that was my paper? Well, I really didn't know it for sure. What, you were showing off my notes to everyone you saw in the world? Yeah, that was kind of the idea. Huh. You knew it would be a long story, so you took in a huge breath. Tamarack put her fists up eagerly in her own preparation to talk about what she had done. So, I got here today with my ma. She's waiting for the real estate agent, so I had to go spend some time doing something. I went down the road and a paper airplane hit me on the shoulder, and nobody was there.
That was me. I threw it and ran away. It was great.
I picked it up and opened the plane and saw the stuff written on it. I thought the person throwing the plane was trying to give me a message.
But it wasn't me who wrote it.
Right.
Then Andy went into the forest after, and I surprised him by jumping out of the leaves.
Chew nodded along, probably not getting everything the two of you were talking about, but was curious enough to keep listening. And then I talked to her about the paper airplane I found, and she told me what we said, and then she made the plane and didn't write what was on it, so I asked where she got it. Tamarack chimed in again as your story continued to bounce back and forth between the two of you.
I found it on the ground in the woods. It already had the note, but I didn't think that was important at first. Andy made me wonder about it. We went out to discover the word writer.
And it was you! Huh? Chew put his hands on his hip as he thought hard about the info he'd learned from you two. So you're saying that all this was random stuff? Oh, you're saying all this was random stuff for fun? I mean, I guess so. But if you're the one who wrote that, how did you know my name? That was on the note. And what were those other words supposed to mean? Hello, go out, hide out, Andrew Peterson? It doesn't make any sense. Oh! Chew cracked a smile and flicked out his arms to start his own explanation. It's just the stuff I was gonna do. Counting 1, 2, 3 on his fingers, Chew listed off each part of the letter simply. Hello, say hi to the people around, go out, visit the town or another neighborhood or whatever. Hideout means go to my hideout. Chew stopped the countdown to pat the sturdy wooden wall behind him with pride. Right here. Wow, I like your hideout. I do too. Ah, right, yeah. For your name being there, my mom and dad told me. They talked about how people were moving in next door, and how there was going to be a kid my age, and that his name was Andrew Peterson. And it was cool to me, so I wrote it down. That way I don't forget. And I even took out and read the page along the way to make sure it'd be something I remembered. Looks like I forgot after all. Oh, it's okay, Chew. Well, thanks for trying to remember anyway. You're welcome. I'll remember this time. Definitely. But that's pretty crazy, with the paper airplane. It's really impressive the two of you put that whole thing together. He was right. You and Tamarack had now been able to discover the whole story. It felt good. You were proud of yourself. But you realized suddenly how late it must have gotten. Your mom would start to worry soon, and that wasn't good. Your turning thoughts were put on pause when Chew suddenly changed the subject. Oh, hey Angie, Tamarack. I'll walk you around back to the front. I want to hang out more.
I should probably see how Omi and Opa are. They're pretty old and need help sometimes.
Okay, don't sugarcoat it, Tamarack. That's fine.
Yeah, we could all go back together.
All right, we can. You relaxed your stance, accepting that this was really over now.
Yay! Oh, that was a bad voice. Hold on. Yay!
Her cheer had extra pizzazz, because she still had that stick to point up high. Oh, she had the stick still. Okay, cool.
To our houses!
While chuckling, Chew used his fist to enthusiastically punch the air. It matched Tamarack's pose. Homeward bound. You're already at your own home, Chew. Successful. Okay, this is definitely a little boy answer. I'm just trying to prepare myself. All right!
Yay, 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 yay!
She had clapped her hands around her mouth to make it extra loud. Oh, I did not do a good job of making that loud. And so you started to walk through the yellowed fall grass to the neighborhood again. But you weren't going to be there alone. Tamarack bounded ahead, bouncing her arm up and down with the stick while she was the conductor of a marching band, while Chew came alongside you, with even casual steps. You were returning to that house. And with that, we are on 30 minutes, and I think it's safe to say this is the end of today's episode. And so, yeah, happy journeying, everyone. This was really fun. Met both the love interest, I guess, and now we're gonna go home to our mom. So, this is the end. Join us again next time for Our Life, Now and Forever.